and welcome to Cittadino TV. My name is Kayla Marie Teresiano and I'm joined by Paul Ballerini. Paul, how are you?
Not bad, and you?
I'm good, thank you. So, we last spoke a couple of months ago where I had interviewed you prior to you heading off to Italy to do your research project. Can you tell me a bit about what your project entailed?
Yeah, for sure. So my project was kind of this project about the links that we have as second and third generation immigrants to kind of the homeland and the way our identity is shaped by the trips we make going back to Italy as Italians of second and third generation immigrants. So kind of exploring this idea that the children and grandchildren of immigrants have an identity which is constantly changing depending on who they are speaking to, what they are doing in their lives, and the people they interact with. So, for example, that some people may feel more Italian when they're around Canadians, while they might feel a lot more Canadian when they're interacting with people that are people in Italy or people that are maybe have certain Italian characteristics. So this idea that identity is always changing and it's not like a solid thing, and so how a lot of people find that this their identity switches a lot when they go visit their grandparents' homeland. So the way they either feel more Italian when they come back or less in a weird way. Either they had kind of a culture shock and they feel more Canadian than they ever did because there's such different ways of working, ways of thinking, or to the contrary, that they feel way more that their ways of thinking are now associated to something that is actually tangible, which is Italian culture. So that's kind of in globe what the project is about, and it's explored through the making of these kind of short what are called research creation sketches. So they're kind of like these short research sketches that are filmed, and it's very much about the kind of the process, how we decide to film things, why we film certain things, and how they reflect the way we personally view the world. So it's this kind of genre of in cinema that's called personal subjective cinema, and this way of kind of allowing our voices to be heard through visual experimentation.
So, the purpose of you having gone to Italy was to create this project that would eventually, potentially, turn into a film of some sort, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So it was kind of the early research development for a project that I'm planning to do, which I already have started, but which incorporates certain aspects of the filming that happened in Italy. And the way I'm making this film is kind of a very research oriented way of working in the fine arts, which is once again research creation, where there's kind of traditional research, but also a lot of visual experimentation, trying to find the best way to approach certain things. So it's about going there. I went there, I filmed a lot, and then tried to edit these little exercises. We can call them exercises or experiments, which then will help me develop the best way to create the whole film.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a bit about how the trip to Italy itself went?
It was really great. I had the chance over there. I was working with Professor Dennis Barato from the University of Padua. So I was affiliated over there with the University of Padua, which is a really kind of historical institution. It's the fifth oldest university in the world, if I remember correctly. It's around this year they were actually celebrating their 800 years of
Wow.
existence. So yeah, so it's pretty crazy. And so I was affiliated with them, so I worked very closely over there, and as well as I got the chance to meet other academics through the IAUV University in Venice, and I also got the chance to travel around a lot. So I kind of mostly was residing in Padua and Bologna, but I got the chance to go film in Villa Foncia, which was a very small town in Abruzzo. I also got the chance to film in Campobasso and a lot of the small towns around it, such as Gildoni. Um, and of course, I went back to my grandfather's town as well, which is in Santa Broge, which is in Frosinone, where Frosinone meets Caserta, basically.
Mhm.
And I got the chance to film over there and speak to a couple people there. Also, just kind of explore a bit different ways of showing this identity that I was speaking about before in a visual sense. It was a really fulfilling time, and I really learned a lot. I got a lot of opportunities.
I'm excited for you to continue on with the next steps of the project. Speaking of, what are the next steps?
Hmm. Well, it's now that I've returned, it's a lot about collecting the different sketches that I've done and continuing to kind of analyze them, thinking of better ways to approach the stuff and reuse some of the footage that was there in hopes of creating a longer film, which explores a lot about, I guess we can call it Montreal Italian Canadian identity. And with a certain section that would happen in Italy as a kind of a bonding agent between Montreal and Italy. And it's kind of, once again, this idea of personal cinema. So this idea that it comes from a very, that the film feels like it has a specific perspective, which is an individual's perspective, meaning that it all seems to be coming from the point of view of a character, not visually, but just kind of thematically.
Mhm.
And so that's it. So it's going to be kind of finishing the steps of the rest of this film. I still got some filming to do in Montreal. I got a lot of editing and sound work to do. So it's a lot of rigorous post-production. But I'm excited, and I hope that the kind of final project and everything that's affiliated with it will be done by maybe a year from now, maybe next fall.
Fantastic. I'm excited to see what the final product will be. I'm sure so many of our viewers will be excited as well to see the final film in whatever form it comes within the next year or so. That's kind of all for me. Thank you so much, Paul.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks again for the interest that you've shown in the project. It's really great to be able to spread a lot of the stuff that I've looked into and to be able to talk about the project. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today at Cittadino TV. My name is Kayla Marie Trichano, and we'll see you next week.